I want to welcome along Kate Beeley, who runs Missfit.
Missfit is a female-only boutique gym since 2008 until now. So I did 4 years in the great outdoors, and being a young mother and recognising that there was that space or lack of space for women to sort of bring their baby and work out, because I was one of those mums. Heart and soul of Missfit is the baby boot camp, space for women that just want to come in away from the gym bros. In a lot of ways, the training was definitely my saviour. You inspired me to do this as well, Brad, because I knew you did 100, and I always looked up to you as a great, strong person. Always had that in the back of my head. I want to beat Brad's 100. I've got a good crew of female trainers that work around me, and I've built them up. And so it doesn't matter if I'm taking the session or in it, to be honest. If I'm there, it's good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Trainer HQ podcast. Now, I'm very excited, very privileged to have someone in the Trainer HQ headquarters today who we go back a long way, don't we, Kate?
We do. Very too long.
Very long way. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome along Kate Beeley, who runs Missfit. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you.
Good to have you along, man. First of all, let's talk about, I guess, Missfit. Mm-hmm. And I want to hear about what is Missfit, who do you serve, and what does the business look like today?
Sure. Okay, so Missfit is a female-only boutique gym. It didn't always start as a gym. I was an outdoor trainer originally, running around in parks, and over time built the business well. Somehow attracted people from outdoors and got a good community happening over the years, and have been in operation since 2008 until now. So I did 4 years in the great outdoors, and then stumbled across a great location that I passed every day actually on my way into the cliffs, because I do a lot of my training from out of Kangaroo Point and also around New Farm and Roma Street Parklands, etc. And all of a sudden this warehouse popped up, which was 4 years into my career. And I decided to give it a crack, the leap of faith. And we started there just doing our boot camps as per usual, doing one-on-one personal training. It was probably as close to the outdoors as I could get, to be honest, because we've got 3 massive roller doors that open up down there. So it's a nice big open-aired industrial functional training area. It's evolved to where it is today. So it's lots of fun, still love it. Still seen on the floor, maybe a little bit too much to your liking, but yeah, I do love my training. And we've got a good community of strong, fit women that train down at Missfit.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And you have a blend of like personal training, group classes. Do you want to explain to us a bit about what the service offering is for people there?
Sure. It definitely has expanded over the years. So initially when I started, we were doing personal training and running group classes outdoors, specifically targeting mums. So back then I was a young mum myself. I recognised pretty quickly that there wasn't too much around. So this is going back a good sort of 19 years now. There wasn't a lot around, and then I had my second child as well, and that's when I really sort of got my teeth stuck into a program that I built called Baby Boot Camp, Bring Your Baby With You and Get Fit. And I think one of the reasons why it works so well outdoors, and especially in those great locations like New Farm Park, it was very central. So we could have a lot of people driving in from various parts of Brisbane, and it looked really cool to see 30 mums jogging around in the parkland with their prams and stopping and doing boxing and doing weights and running hills. And it definitely drew quite a bit of attention back then. I managed to get some free advertising out of that because, it was just a massive point of difference. And in fact, years ago when I did your course, and you really drummed it into us at the time to find your niche, and I had already thought about a business name, which was Missfit, and had the beautiful symbol going on and the tagline, on the move. And it was a matter of adding services to that so that I did have that point of difference. So originally when I did start, actually, I was training men as well. Yep. Soon recognised that wasn't for me, being only 5'2". And there was a lot of loading up of weights. Not that I'm not strong, but I went, didn't really like stretching out hairy legs and all the rest. So
hold those boxing pads.
That's it. That's it. I've got some shoulders on me these days, but I still have to, hold for a lot of tall ladies. But I soon recognised, that's probably not me either. either, and then just worked out that Missfit was going to be a female-only angle. And then through that, obviously being a young mother and recognising that there was that space or lack of space for women to sort of bring their baby and work out, because I was one of those mums that, you know, I was quite nervous with my firstborn, and, you know, I really didn't like the idea of them being in a creche that I couldn't see, so I'd be out jogging on my own. And I thought there's got to be other mums out there that feel the same as me, that feel a little bit isolated. They still want to exercise, they want to do something, and that's why I started Baby Boot Camp. And my first intake that I did, so we did some 6-week rounds. The first one I got 10 ladies on board, and I thought it's not too bad. The next one, just completely bombed out. I got 4. And I remember telling my mum at the time, I just thought, oh God, this is just so hard. Nobody's signing up. But I stuck with it. I just thought, just keep going, just keep going. I don't know what was in me to do that. But yeah, just kept putting the messages out there. And eventually it just grew over time, and more people saw it, and it became recognisable. And yeah, that I guess is really the heart and soul of Missfit, is the Baby Boot Camp program.
Yeah, and that still runs
it
as
still
in
runs,
today?
Yeah, we do 6-week courses back to back throughout the course of the year. The only time that we have downtime is just the first 3 weeks of January. So it's pretty solid. And then outside of that, we're running general 12-week challenges. So I do 3 of those a year. Then there's another 3 4-week shred programs. And then we've also got the 24/7 gym now, so people can come and go as they please with the facility. So that's just a nice little add-on bonus icing on the cake for me. We're never going to be able to compete with the majors. We're not trying to.
Yeah.
So it's more about, you know, creating that space for women that just want to come in away from the gym bros.
Yeah.
Is where we're sort of targeting that one. And yeah, it's working.
And to have their sanctuary, their place they go to, and you know, I've observed it of all this time. We're going to get into the depths of that soon, but yeah, and I've known plenty of women who have trained there, and I'm like, where do you train at? I train at Missfit, you know. I said, hey, I know Kate. So,
nice.
And yeah, but just that community that you've built there. So in terms of like from a business point of view, a few different income buckets. I guess there's subscriptions, i.e. memberships in terms of the group.
Yes.
There's one-on-one PT, and then you've got the programs that happen periodically. Is that the different offers?
Yes, definitely. And then obviously the 24/7 gym, we're signing people up for 3 months, 6 months, a year.
Yes.
And then we do a yearly deal as well, where they pay up front for a full year, and it's cheaper again. So they're the offerings there for that.
Yeah, that's great. It's so good. All right, well, let's go all the way back to when we first connected.
Yes.
And back then you weren't in the fitness industry at all. So I'm cranking along, pumping peak physique, aren't I? And you were running the local Palacentro movie cinema.
That's it.
Yep. And I can't remember, did I approach you or you approached me?
Well, I was a member at the Healthworks gym where you were.
Yeah.
And you were a very recognisable PT on the floor. It was everyone knew Brad Shepherd and your team of peak physiquers. And yeah, I think I was at a stage in my life where I was around 23, 24, and I obviously had played sport when I was at school, but definitely coming out of school, I'd let that slip for a period of time. And I did have a meeting with you about doing some one-on-one PT as a client. And I remember that vividly, actually. I think we were over at Harvey's Cafe in
James Street there.
Yeah, and you hit me up and we were talking about food and we were talking about training. And I remember one time you said to me about my nutrition, like, what are you eating a day, Kate? And I didn't really want to get too much into it. And I was one of those people that just said, I just graze a bit. I just pick at things throughout the day. I thought it was such a good answer to have, and you just gave me this nod and this little grin. And now when clients say that to me, I just think to myself, oh gosh, I vividly remember being one of those people, didn't want to tell my PT what I ate. And I didn't really have any idea about what it was either. I was sort of just, I wasn't on top of it then. So I came on board as a client. I was doing some training with your crew.
That's right.
With Fergus. I also trained with Peter.
That's
he
right.
was awesome.
Yep.
Both boys were good, but Peter, he really made me run a lot. He took me to some of the best running tracks around Tenerife, New Farm.
Yeah.
He got me out of my comfort zone there, and those run legs that I did with him, I'm still doing with my clients today.
Yeah, wow, that's phenomenal. And
we-
just for anyone tuning into this, we're now talking that first meeting me and you had at Harvey's Cafe there, probably talking 2003, I reckon.
Yeah,
roughly
maybe.
2000. We arrived at that gym on July 1, 2002.
Right.
So I'm thinking roughly 2003. Might have been sort of circa into 2004 thereabouts. But yeah, back then. And the next part is we also, as part of this working arrangement that we had, you became a client of ours, but
Yes.
I figured out that you're the manager of the Palace Centro Cinema, and so you're like, well, look, how do we make this working relationship even better? And I'm like, well, I'm thinking customer care straight away. So we switched and we found an arrangement where I could purchase, discounted movie tickets.
Yes.
And I remember I get those from you in bulk,
Yes.
and then we'd use them as our customer care. So we had, I mean, back then there was no social media, there was no Facebook, any of that sort of stuff, right? So what would happen is we were back then 80+% word of mouth referral.
Yep.
And what would happen is people would refer a client to us, and of course they get this nice letter from us saying, thanks very much for the referral, we really appreciate it, and here's a double movie pass to the Palace Centro Cinema.
Yes.
And that worked splendidly because, again, it was one of those things where people weren't expecting it, and when it came, it was that nice surprise. And shit, who doesn't like going to the movies, right?
That's it. And you loved going to the movies.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I definitely used a few of those.
Yeah.
But then that extended to other cool things where we'd hold client functions there.
Yes.
Yep. And we would get all the clients in there. We put on, there would be a screening of a movie, and then we'd have drinks and all that sort of stuff. And anyway, that I look back to those things. I get this is a lesson for anyone in business tuning into it, going, you got to look for these, you got to look for these opportunities where you go, you don't want to just rely upon word of mouth referral, all that sort of stuff. You want to look for these opportunities that might pop up because you never know what could come of it, right?
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, it was cool.
Yes.
I remember we also did a promo. The movie Wimbledon came out, and you're like, "Hey,
yes.
I've got a good one for you. We could let's align Peak Physique to the Wimbledon movie," which we did. And we did this whole lead gen campaign. So yeah, anyway, happy days.
Very good.
But you weren't a PT then. So where was the turning point? Because obviously you're training with us, and you're obviously doing well as and getting yourself fitter and stronger and all that. So where did the turning point come?
Sure. So when I trained with you guys, I used to do it of a morning, then come in. Our first movie would be at 10. I'd train early, and I was buzzing when I'd get into work. I had a lot of energy on the floor, which was great. And I absolutely love working at that cinema. I ran it like it was my own. Our owners were in Melbourne. It was awesome. But I did want to have a baby, and I recognised that I probably would struggle in that job. It was so hands-on. It was 7 days a week. Movies would finish at midnight. It just wasn't going to work. So I was thinking, I need to start something else if I'm going to make this transition over. So I was thinking about it for some time. And then, obviously when I fell pregnant, then it was like, you got to go for this now and get some things in place. So, started working on obviously the brand, building little websites, etc., doing all of that side of things because, as you said, social media wasn't around, so you really did rely on a website at that time.
Correct.
That was the turning point. I knew I needed to do something to keep myself occupied, and at that time we obviously needed a second income.
Yeah.
And thank goodness it paid off because I soon became a single mum, so it had to work. It absolutely had to work, but it did start as a bit of a hobby, if I'm to be honest. It wasn't really, I wasn't thinking that this was going to be a full-time gig, and it was lucky it took off because it had to take off. I was determined to put my two children through the school that they had signed up for, and I've successfully almost done that. My daughter's got 2 more years to go. I didn't want to move them through all that upheaval, and that itself was a goal in mind, so I did push.
Cool. Well, I got some more questions soon probably about that time that you mentioned, but I guess back then during that point in time, and 2008 was when we ran our first seminar at back then we were called Create PT Wealth.
Yes.
And you were that's when you were sort of starting to, that was a time when you were sort of kicking off, wasn't it?
That was.
And then we got you to the seminar, which happened I think it was in September that year.
Yes.
And I remember, you may not remember this, but we ran the seminar, and the idea on how we built the business originally was we'd run our 2-day workshop, and at our 2-day workshop we'd make an offer for people to come and join us on the coaching program. And it was on day one of the 2 days. What we used to do back then was we used to sell this we call it like a business in a box. So it was like a pack of stuff. And back then there was no hard drives and things in the cloud. It was physical CDs, and we get all these documents, and most of the stuff myself and Jason had developed and stuff I'd used at Peak Physique and systems and all this sort of stuff, and we put it on this CD. And I remember on day one, I sold it, and given that I was pretty new to the seminar game and selling from stage, I remember that what Jay said to me is that when you sell something from stage, and you run through your slide deck and you get to the price, and he goes, if because it's run to the back of the room if you want to get the thing, right? He goes, so whatever happens is, like, when you say the price, do not fucking ask a question, do not do anything, just wait, because he goes, if one person moves, then the next person will move. And it was funny because it was the first time I'd actually sold this thing from stage, and I named the price, and it was just like dead crickets. You're in the room, and I'm not sure. I don't even know if you remember this, right?
I don't.
And anyway, he's up the back of the room. We've got a full deck of people in the room, and no one's moved. And I'm like, all right, so my call is, all right, so if you want it, go to the back of the room now. And I'm expecting this bum rush, right? And just no one moved, and the clock is ticking like so slow, like tick. Tick, and I'm just like, the sweat beads are coming out. Yeah. He's up the back of the room. He's fucking pissing himself laughing because he's just going, he must be feeling so awkward up there. Anyway, clock's ticking, tick, tick, tick. And it felt like it went for an eternity. It was probably only 10 seconds, right? And who jumped? Who was the first one? It was you. You were like, you're like, I'll get it. And you just went. And then, of course, what happened? The next person, boom. Next person, boom. Next person, boom.
Maybe I felt sorry for you, Brad. I was like,
you go, this poor guy. Look at him. He's dying up here. So
probably was that.
But on the back end of that, you come and joined us, and it was great to now have you first of all at Peak Physique as a client, and then now you come and join us on the coaching program. And like you were saying, that part about identifying niche, how critical is it, and have a look at how it's shaped your business today,
Definitely, and it's still there. You're always looking for points of difference at any stage in your business, some way to change things up, evolve, grow. There's always opportunities.
Yeah.
And some of my best moments have just come to me actually when I've been out running on the pavement.
Yeah, it's so good. And like back to even the way you built the boot camp business, right? So, I mean, all the various locations and all that sort of stuff, like you were just that person, you just go for it, right? So that was my observation of it. Did you feel like that's just what you had to do, or was it like...
Kind of had to do, but there was a want as well.
Yeah.
All of this, luckily enough, was a passion at first. It was a bit of a hobby, and it was something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
If I didn't enjoy it, I probably wouldn't have done it. But yeah, I love it, and I am an active person. I can't just be sitting at the desk all day. I like a bit of that too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I definitely love being around people, and I definitely love training and, taking people out for jogs and pushing them, and I'll always try really hard for the girls.
Yeah.
That will always remain. But yeah.
Yeah, so good. Now let's fast forward the clock to that moment when you said you went into the facility, and I guess there was a period in time when there was a bit going on for you, right? So tell me about moving into the facility. Was that just a natural move? Was it like a daunting move? Was it like, because I guess the thing I think about, there's a lot of people tuning into this going, all right, I'm in that position. I'm either a PT in a gym, or I'm doing some outdoor stuff or whatever, and I'd love to have my own facility, but the thought of it is so scary and all the rest of it. So can you talk us through what that looked like?
Yeah, definitely scary, but I felt we were almost forced indoors in a way. It got harder running around in the parks. Council were hot on our heels wherever we went. Tell us where you're here, how many people are coming, paying permits, you can't be in the rotunda, you're not allowed to run up these stairs. And then also there was a lot of weather issues. We used to take them into South Bank and run around in the piazza there. Then all of a sudden that got shut down. So we didn't have access to places that we used to have access to when wet weather happened. And that was a real drama for me, like trying to move people around, such big crowds around at short notice. So it's pretty hard to move 20 or 30 people when you're outdoors to sheltered areas, and then also be told you can't be here. So I think because of those hurdles, I just went, that's it.
This is getting too hard.
It's getting too hard. I need to find a base. And my car at the time, I had a Mazda 6. Oh, man. The amount of equipment that I'd have in there just loaded up and the whole thing was weighed down. And it was pretty exhausting. Luckily, I like movement. But yeah, all of that, I think all of that, as the groups just got bigger, it got harder to run outside and bring that extra variety at the number of sessions we were all of a sudden doing outdoors.
I'm also thinking logistics, not only that part in terms of like you're trying to message 30 people who are coming to a boot camp. Back then we didn't really have even group messaging apps, right? So
emails,
no WhatsApp. So you'd be either emailing a bulk email or sending individual text messages, I'm guessing. Copy paste, and
that's
all
it.
that. Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, it really was.
So you found the spot, and where... Can you remember back then where you were sitting, just in rough terms, like income coming in? Like, did you feel like there was enough money to go into a facility, or did you feel like, hey, man, I'm going to have to build this business because I'm now in the facility? Because obviously that adds extra expense and outgoings and all the rest of it.
Yeah, sure. I think we were just there, probably to the point where we'd just sort of more or less break a little bit even, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
Just covering costs.
Yeah, so you would have gone from like being more profitable outdoors, of course, but you were faced with all these headaches.
Yeah.
And then now we're in the facility and, all right, we're making enough money so we can definitely keep the doors open.
Yep.
But now we've got to build from there.
But I guess I've always had that mentality. You get to 1 year, you get to 5 years, you get to 10 years, you get to 20 years in business, then you're cemented, like you've done the hard yards. So I just put everything back. And everything back in all the time. Just I never took much income at all in the initial stages, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I just had the long vision of I'm building something here. I want to have. If I'm going into a premise, then we got to keep it afloat. So yeah.
Yeah.
And, hopefully by 20 years, I'm driving a Ferrari or something.
Well, I've seen your car. It's super cool, man.
Yeah, thanks.
But you also said, as you alluded to before, 2012 you went into the facility.
2012, yep.
And also 2013 was a pretty tough time for you. So do you want to share a bit about like that part?
It was just a battle. Like it was just about survival of the fittest. It was like... You just got to keep going. Luckily, I had great parents and they were able to offer assistance with the children and pickups and all the rest.
Yeah.
In a way, having a split job did work. It meant I could go off of a morning, also work of a nighttime. Mum and dad would help, but I'd also get a babysitter in.
Yeah.
So I'd then have to pay her to come in.
Yep.
She was our next door neighbour, lovely girl, teenager at the time. I just gave her some cash.
Yeah.
So that all worked. I just had to think outside the square and just keep pushing and going for it. And I think in a way with my clientele, because they saw that battle, they kind of liked me even more because I was struggling. And they were just like, oh, this girl's got some grit, determination to keep going. So that all works for the women down there because we all have our battles, don't we, in life?
Yeah,
so ups
100%.
and downs. But when you're persevering and you're pushing forward and others can see that, they tend to stay on and help you and support you.
Yeah, knowing you as long as I have for all the years, coming up to 23 odd years, it'd be my assumption that even though there was all that stuff happening on a personal level, my assumption is you turned up and you probably found a way to separate the personal from the business. So can you explain that?
In a lot of ways, the training was definitely my saviour during those times as well. And it was a little bit after that, but in 2015, I did my 101 KP Cliff Stairs. And at that stage, I was obviously still single and I needed an outlet with my training too. You inspired me to do this as well, Brad, because I knew you did 100 and I always looked up to you as a great, strong person, but also somebody who was cardio fit too for such a big bloke.
Yeah.
And I always had that in the back of my head. I want to beat Brad's 100. So I did 101 and that was a great outlet with my training as well that happened during that time when I was still, getting back on my feet and forming life for myself.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's been a couple of those along the way where I've used my training and done it at times outside of, I finished training with my crew and then I would get to training. So I do it silently.
Use it as your outlet to help you.
And that was therapy. That was therapy. That was about building it a strength, because the harder you're battling on the floor, the harder you're going to battle in life, I think.
Yeah, so good. And back to what you just said about KP, anyone who's tuning into this, if you've ever been to Brisbane, you're from Brisbane, Kangaroo Point Stairs at the Kangaroo Point Cliffs, one of the most iconic places. And the stairs there are iconic and they're tough. They never get any easier, do they?
No.
And back when in the Peak Physique days when you were a client of ours, we ran the Peak Physique Overhaul, which you dominated, by the way. Yes. You won it, didn't you?
No, I didn't win it.
You didn't win? Oh, jeez. So hard. You would have been spewing.
I was like, serious? Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, but you gave it a good nudge, didn't you? You gave it a good crack.
That was a great program. I think I did 2 of them from memory. I did love them, and they were run well, and I loved how you moved around to different locations, and I do that too.
Yeah.
I copied a fair bit from your business, I hope you don't mind, but in a good way. Put it into a female.
Well, it's out there. It's the greatest form of flattery. It's like, when someone sees what you do and they go, "Wow, that's a great model. I'd love to emulate that." And it's smart, right? It's because it worked. And then the best bit was, we weren't necessarily niched at Peak Physique. As you know, we had this wide variety of different people, even at those 6-week challenges. And then now you've taken that to the next level of niching it down further, which is awesome. So, but yeah, back to those Kangaroo Point stairs. If anyone goes there, I mean, do 5-10 sets of them and you definitely know you're alive. To do 100, it was decent. Me and my mates, when we did it, we marched it. So, but we didn't run it. But did you run it?
Yep.
You ran it. Oh, wow. That's massive.
So I put myself on the timer. I did it in 1 minute 45 up and down.
Yeah.
And I would just turn and go, but that just allowed me time in case there were general public on the stairs, because obviously I wouldn't just have free reign. So sometimes it would be a little slower, a little faster, but I was just trying to keep up with the clock. Yeah. So it was a marathon in itself. I think I did it in something like 3 hours 14 for the 101.
Yeah.
And it really, really hurts at around 70, 80, 90.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
good.
Thinking back, I've had clients years ago who we would take them to the stairs and we might do like 5 sets of stairs or something like, which is still decent if it's your first time and you're unfit and all that. And I've had people call me up 2 days later going, I'm injured.
Totally.
My calves are injured, you know, and I go, no, we went to the Kangaroo Point stairs a couple of days ago. It's just, you just got deep DOMs in there, man.
That's it.
A couple of days, you'll be fine.
Yeah, they are a killer for a reason. But yeah, they're great for your legs.
Yeah, but so back to that. I guess what I'm hearing is you had there's personal stuff going on, but you didn't carry it. It was like, obviously you dealt with that, but most importantly, it was like you turn up for your crew and your community, and you're able to separate that part, right? So
1 or 60, I don't care who's there. I've had to have that attitude the entire way. Even when we started at Missfit doing the midday classes, and they've got a fairly good following to them now. It was sort of going with the whole burst out of work, get it done in a time so that it doesn't interfere with, early mornings and nights, etc., with your family. So it works quite well. But yeah, there's been times where there's been one person at that session and there'll be 12. You take who you've got. And then we've got other ones that, obviously Super Saturday, right up to 60. And I don't do any PT now. I can always go back to that. And that's fine. But I've got a good crew of female trainers that work around me.
Yep.
And I build them up. So I'm just sitting on the group floor now.
Great.
And so it doesn't matter if I'm taking the session or in it, to be honest. If I'm there, it's good.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
How many team members have you got that either run classes and or PT?
Yes, sorry. I've got a good 7 or so.
Great.
Yeah.
All female?
All female.
Yeah. Ever had a guy instructor?
Yes.
Did that go well or?
No.
No.
No. Sorry, it didn't. I won't go there.
Yeah. All right, cool. I won't ask anymore.
Maybe in private. It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. That's so cool. And so you built, like I said, the thing I like about it and the observation that I've had is because you're not that far away from where I live, and I've get to see it. And over the years, I've seen the growth of it. You've got these different. We call them income buckets, right? So you've diversified different parts of the business. There's PT, there's group, there's challenges, there's all the rest of it. So is there anything else on the horizon to add to this?
Look, I'm not great with technology at the minute. Let's put it out there as an opportunity. But yeah, I don't have an online space. I am an in-person person. I have never had an online coach myself. I see it pop up. I've got no idea how well people do with it. That would be an area of opportunity for the business. I don't have an app. Again, an area of opportunity for the business. So those two things, I think, for me.
Yeah.
I do think as well, because the list of services that we have going on in the gym is quite extensive now. I want to concentrate on my niche again this coming year. I want to try and get a little bit more hungry with the baby boot camp market again. It trickles along nicely, but I want to do more local area marketing there. So that's a focus for next year as well. And business partners, we had them pre-COVID, a lot of them. But COVID was difficult for all small businesses, and you probably would have experienced that with a lot of personal trainers just shutting up shop because it did get hard. And that was a hurdle, that was a battle as well. We did move to online classes during that time, and of course we were training small groups outside and one-on-ones around the gym because we could do that. But we did do an online sort of Zoom class, which was amazing, and we kept that going so that we could stay connected with people and they could do their workouts from home. So I would go into the gym, I'd do the session in front of them, we'd have a coach there with me, telling them what they were expecting. We could see what was happening at home with their cameras, and that all worked beautifully. I'm not saying we would want to do that now, but during that time, that was awesome for us. We rode the storm.
Yeah.
And when we came back into the gym, because we'd stuck it out during that trying time, it just exploded. Like October through to the end of the year, it was busy. And it was great to see. Everyone was busting to get back into the gym. I wish they were that hungry every year. But yeah, it was such an interesting time, COVID.
Yeah.
And I feel that people that did stay with it probably ended up doing better if they just stuck it out. So,
yeah. Yeah, that was our observation as well. I mean, the fitness industry in a good way blew up on the back end of that, right?
Yes.
You're telling you that's exactly what you experienced. And let's talk about longevity of clients.
Yep.
I'm guessing you've probably had some clients for a long time.
Yep, they're staying with me.
Have you got some from like early days?
Yeah. So that first boot camp that I ran,
Yeah.
I've got one client that's still with me from that.
Yeah, wow.
Other ones that have trained with me in the parklands that just come back 10 years later.
Yeah.
So it is crazy. People, if they have enjoyed it, they generally would touch base and come back. So yeah, you just got to keep just putting out your social media posts, and you get bites. But yeah, just be active there, I guess. But yeah, people do fitness when they want to, but it's also the first thing that they give up as well. You'll find that there's a lot of people come and go throughout the course of the year, which is always really annoying because it's just you get them to a point and then it's like, why are you stopping now? We need to keep going. But hurdles, I guess. People just, it's life, isn't it? So they stop. So
life
they
gets
can
in the way
easily
and
stop.
Yeah.
The door's always open to come back.
It's hard to fathom, like for people like us, when it's just it's part of your life. Like it's like brushing your teeth or whatever. It's
it's
but when someone's has that has those stops and starts, it's hard to fathom. And I guess the psychology part weighs heavily into it, and then building that community so they feel like they're entrenched in it.
Definitely. And we do have that. We have the diehards that have been with me for years.
Yeah,
they're like our brick and mortar. They're just there, and they push it along. They're great girls, and they do love it. But the best thing, they love each other. That's their fit fam.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, that's my observation. Next part, outside of, like you said, the kangaroo point stairs, 100 challenge, let's talk about the burpees because you have a world record.
Yep.
Have I got that right?
Yes.
All right. Talk to me about that. Where'd that all come from?
Yeah. So a couple of these things, so back in the day, I did think to myself at the time, I had no money for advertising. So what do you do when you're trying to get noticed? Let's just do something crazy, and again, light bulb moment when I'm out running, I just had this thought that popped into my head about burpees because I didn't mind doing them. I wonder what the world record is for the most amount of burpees in an hour. And I just Googled it and found out it was 1,274. And I thought, 60 minutes, and I kind of broke it down in my head and I said, well, you'd need to be doing this amount. I thought, that's not completely unachievable, Kate. So my first round of training for it, I did about 8 minutes and I went, this is too quick. I can't do this. But then I tackled it in a different way, worked out a different formula with my training, and then just got stuck in, and I was able to get on my way. But my main reason for doing it was to try and get Missfit on the map and get it recognised, because I had no money for advertising. And this was all of the, back in the cinema days, we had to do everything with no budget as well.
Yeah.
They didn't want us spending on advertising. So it was about building relationships or getting yourself seen or working in with other businesses. So, I really knew that I needed to do something like that in the initial stages of that business, of my business. So yeah, that's when I did the KP, got notoriety for that. And then the next one was 2 years later, the burpees. But the burpees was by far the best.
Yes.
That one got a lot of media coverage. I actually have one of my clients, her sister works at Channel 9, and she knew about my training, and she floated the idea with her and said, hey, listen, Kate's doing this crazy challenge. And then, I got a phone call from Channel 9, would you go, on TV for it? And I was training above it, so my reps per minute were faster. And I thought, I probably can just do this and get it done on the day. Yeah. So I backed myself there. But on the day, so much harder. So much harder. It did not go according to plan at about the 18-minute mark in that burpee world record moment. It was all going out the window. I just wasn't going as quick as I would normally do in my training. And luckily, because I'd trained above the rep count, I just had that quick moment. Just take a few reps off, Kate. Just get your breath going again. Yeah. And I thought, why am I struggling so much today? But it all came together and I got across the line. But there was a moment, hands on hips, where I just went, I'm just going to have to make an announcement on national TV that I can't do this. But I wrapped my head around it and just thought, get with the program, girl, keep going. And just managed to sort of get to the end of it. Yeah. Actually, that day I came down with gastro that afternoon. So I was like, this is why it was so hard. But yeah, it was a moment.
How many per minute is it to achieve that number?
It was, you had to get 22 to be on the record pace.
22 per minute.
And I was in my training doing 25, 26, 27.
Yeah.
With those.
It's
so
off the map. It's hard to fathom. And this is this is not a chest to ground burpee. It's how did you describe it?
It's just your feet out, feet in, jump. Top. So standard burpee.
Yeah. That's wild, man, to think that you could keep that cadence for that long. Yeah. And you're 18 minutes into it and you're just thinking, this is going to shit.
This is going belly up pretty much.
Yeah.
But I had local MP there. Everyone's sitting there judging, counting reps, cameras. I just thought, oh gosh, Kate, what have you done? But managed to get through that. I did another burpee challenge a couple of years later. That was more so a personal thing. I didn't put myself out on the map for that chest to floor one because I couldn't really go much quicker than the record. So it's touch and go on the day. That one was just pure because I love training and I needed an outlet at the time, probably another breakup.
That's so cool. Yeah. So you owned the world record.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still there.
Still, what year was it?
It's 2017.
Wow, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm sure people must have had a crack at that since then. Do you know?
Chest to floor ones they have. The chest to floor, I think you'll find a lot of CrossFitters are quite good at that.
Yeah.
But that
the chest to floor number would be a lot lower, right? Than 1200 and something.
930.
930, still decent.
Still good.
That's got to be up in the teens, is it?
15.
Wow.
15 to 16 a minute.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. I literally hit the wall in that.
Yeah.
Hit the wall.
What's 900 push-ups effectively as well at the same time, isn't it? So, yeah. How many did you get?
I got, 923 was the first record that I got for the chest to floor.
Yeah.
It got broken in COVID. A lady overseas broke it. I think she was Norwegian. She got 926.
Yep.
I've gone back and I've done it again.
Yeah.
And I got 926. So it's dual at the minute. I'm not doing it again.
You're happy just to go, share that.
I'm happy to share it.
Yeah. So cool. But back to the thing of, and this is the business.
Yep.
message for everybody, right? And that's the thing where I go back to our relationship at the Palace Centro, you know, and how do we get creative with the customer care side of things? You with the media exposure, it's like you've definitely got to think outside the box, and that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
I saw it. I didn't even know you were doing it, but of course I see it pop up on national TV and news and all the rest of it, and then it just blew up, didn't it? Because it was everywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something really different. It was different. Since then, there have been others that have done it, and that's all good. You know, men that have done it as well. But and at the time, it was just different.
Yeah, and I mean, social media then, I mean, it was obviously prevalent and it was active. I mean, I'm not even sure when Instagram launched. I want to say maybe it was 2015 or 16 when Instagram launched.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't as big then. Facebook definitely would have been quite active, and I imagine you would have been pretty strong on there.
Yeah.
But
I think it worked so well because it was, you know, billed as the exercise everyone loves to hate.
Yes.
And that's why it was so perfect, because most people when they're starting, especially in fitness, they hate burpees. So that's why it worked quite well as well.
Yeah,
it was just like, who does that?
The enemy. Yeah. But it really did. You really did leverage off that. And again, I guess like I'm saying for everybody, spot the opportunities. Go, how can I be different? You know, it's like what someone taught me in my early days. They said it's better to be different than it is just to try and be better. You know what I mean? So you can be a great personal trainer, absolutely, and be awesome at what you do. But you got to find your differentiation. You got to find those points to make you stand out, make you a talking point, which is exactly what you did. And I'm guessing that you probably noticed an uptake and on the back end of that, and like in terms of like just popularity and people knew who you were and what Missfit was and all the rest of it.
Yes, and it's nice to have that around the gym as well. So I've got my certificates up. When people walk in, they see that, you know, and it just stands for something as well. So that all works.
Yep, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could talk all day about all this stuff, and I just see it. I know how passionate you are. It's been great watching your journey.
Thank you.
Like, so what? 2008, same year that we launched Trainer HQ. So our business birthdays will be around about the same time. Where do you sort of see the next, let's say, 10 years going? Is there a game plan, or what does that look like?
Yeah. Look, a lot of people say to me, "Would you franchise it? Why haven't you done that?" It's a handful. It's a runaway train at times. One is enough for me, and it does well. It ticks along. It keeps me fit and healthy, and that's why I got into it in the first place. I love the community down there. I love the fact that I know everyone. I know everyone in that joint. If a new person walks in, I know them. I make a point of knowing them, and I want one working really well. I don't own my premise down there, so my landlords are Mains Road, and they're awesome. The spot's brilliant. We've got 30 car spots around. We probably won't be there forever because it's flagged as like to be a bus zone eventually. So I will need to eventually, even though it has never happened, look for somewhere else, and that would be the next step. But I don't need to do that now when things are so good there. And we'll never have that car park situation again. So corporate business would be another one that I actually have my own corporate space that I own. But as I said, because the rent is reasonably good at the minute. And I just tick along there, and it's been there for a long time. I guess there's an opportunity there to have the House of Missfit. But as I mentioned before, just probably this year coming a little bit more attention to the local area marketing. I want to push PT further. I've got great PTs on board. Couple more girls, I think, that are close to full-time capacity. I've got a few that are at 50 to 60 sessions a week, which is nice.
That's huge.
I probably want another 2, and I think we can get there if we just drive it that little bit harder. And then there's always the IT that I could be better on, or find someone who's good at it. But that's always a challenge. But look, we've never done online. I probably would have a trainer at the minute that would like to take some online. That's not me. I'm not going to share a million stories about myself online. People say that all the time. Show your journey, show your highs and lows. I'm quite private. That's just me personally. I'm on that level with it all. I'm not going to be putting that up on social media and looking for following that way. That's just not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own thing, and I'm not bagging that out. But
Sure.
we run the gym well. We stick with what we do well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in person. We do it really well. Yeah.
Well, I think it's the thing about finding your thing, staying in your lane, doing what you're great at, and not trying to be everything to everyone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of online trainers that do not want to be on the floor. They don't have the energy for it. And it takes a lot of energy working with people and having those appointments for 30 hours. Sorry, 30 hours, 30 minutes, etc. And you might see multiple. If you're doing 50 to 60 sessions a week, you become counselor, friend, just educator on so many levels you got to give, and that takes a lot out of a person. So there's only so much energy that goes around. So
and for anyone, great message for anyone who's looking in the early stages of their career and embarking on this, going, if you want to get in, you want to be great at what you do, which is what you've done. You've got to give energy, and you've got to find that happy spot, right? And for you right now, it's the group classes, which I assume for you as a business owner, what it enables you to do is to get to see all of, or most of your clients. Because if you're doing a lot of one-on-ones, of course, that's going to take you away from that group environment, and you're going to see less people,
That's it. Why train one when you can train 60?
Yeah.
And that is sort of where it's at. I don't have to do one-on-one. I can do it. And if we got shut down and we had another pandemic, sure, we're on. If I'm out in the parklands, I feel confident enough that over time people just come up and ask me about training. I don't know why. I just look like I'm into it, I guess. No phones, 100% attention. And I learned a lot of this from yourself. I've had two really great business PT mentors in my time, very different characters, one being you and the other one being Marcus from SAS and Fitness. He was a man of lesser words, barely said anything, but awesome. Very different characters where you had some great messages to or things that you did in the gym as a PT. I still think about actually, the presentation of the water cups and lying out their towels and the spotting and all of that in PT is just so important, so that there's a differentiation between personal training and group. In group, I've got to share all of my attention to everybody on the floor. So I've got to work the room quite hard there, be in all spots and give them some encouragement, etc., and that all works well. But one-on-one, very different. There's got to be quite a different approach in that, where you're really invested in that person. There's no phones. You're doing your spot and you're passing the weights every single time. You're there. You're at their level. And I learned a lot of that from you, just watching you in the gym back in the day.
That's cool. Thank you. And as you would have seen, that team of 13 trainers we had at Peak Physique, I had a few rules, and some of the rules were no hands on hips, no arms folded, no leaning on machines. And then there was the other part, which I call it the athletic stance. So it was like, when I'm training a client, you're the client, I'm the trainer. I'm bent through my knees, ankles, and hips. I'm almost in this position where I'm about to pounce on you. You know what I mean? I'm in the moment. And it's like, people used to say to us, I used to ask people all the time, what attracted you to like Peak Physique? And this, I just watch your trainers in action, and they're just like, they're so in the moment.
Yeah, sure.
And again, we get to travel around gyms all around the country and internationally and all that. And I see a lot of shit trainers in 2025, which is unfortunate, because that stuff is so easy to do, isn't it? Like once you go, it's like a no-brainer, but it's just showing that you're 100% in there,
Yes,
so,
definitely.
I definitely know that's something you exude. So
cool. Thank you.
So people want to check out Missfit. Where do they go to? Where's the best spot?
Just our website, missfitpt.com.au. Then obviously our Facebook page, Instagram page.
Missfit,
come and see us.
MISSFIT.
FIT, that's it. Yes.
PT.
For the website. Yes, that's it. And at Missfit Cooperoo for Instagram, and Missfit Personal Training fan book page on Facebook.
Love it.
And of course, pop in anytime to the gym. We're in person.
Look, since 2008, thousands that you've now impacted in a positive way. I just want to say congratulations. I mean, from our first meeting and our journey, I want to say how proud I am of watching you and what you've built and the people you've impacted. So
thanks,
a huge congratulations.
Thank you. It is fun. I do love it a lot.
Yeah, you can see that. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, Kate Beeley from Missfit.
Thanks, Brad.